Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Um, I've been off the grid for a little time, so I know this is my first vid since a few months now. It's been a little while, but I'm back, and I'll be looking to post more videos for y'all to comment, rate, and subscribe. But today I wanted to talk about whole the whole no physical disc PlayStation drama and backlash and everything. If I could give you a little background, a little rundown. Um, I've been a gamer for a very long time. I've been a gamer ever since I was a little kid. Um, I've been a gamer ever since I was a little kid. I came up on the old systems. I mean, even before PlayStation, I came up on the Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis was my first system, the first system that I ever got my hands on, and boy, did I love it. I used to play it a lot. Like I really used to fuck with, like, what I mean, like Sega Genesis heavy. When I was a kid, a little kid coming out, that's how I got started. When it comes to the games, but the Sonic and the Mortal Kombat and the Bulls vs. Blazers, the Muhammad Ali boxing video game, like the Madden, you name it, Spider-Man, all those games when I was a kid. But then 96 come, and I believe I got my first PlayStation, I believe, in 97. I think it was like 90. No, I think it was in 90. No, I believe it was 90. Yeah, I think it was 98, if I'm not mistaken. I think, I got it in 98. But, PlayStation was the system. PlayStation was the system. That was the system, after the Genesis, and then came the Dreamcast, and the Sega Dreamcast system with the NBA 2K and the NBA 2K, the NFL 2K, those, and the World Series baseball. I believe 2K made that, if I'm not mistaken, too. Them joints, the old school joints, you know what I mean? And I remember those systems. I owned those systems, and I had a blast, at the time when those systems came out, and, I had a blast. I enjoyed myself as any other, any kid would. But, Nintendo 64 had that, had a blast with that, but, then the PlayStation 2 comes, and I had that. I had the PlayStation 3, and now I currently have the PS5. I'll probably show that some other time, but yeah, currently I have the PS5 or whatever. Going on my second year now with it. So yeah, as you can see, I've been a gamer for a very long time, and I've been with PlayStation since day one. Since it came out, I've been there. I had the Xbox, I had the Xbox 360, but since PlayStation came out, I've been there since day one. And just to hear this news is just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, and I wanted to express how I felt about it. It's heartbreaking. It's something that, like, it just, we as a consumer, as gamers, as a consumer, cannot let this happen. I even heard that Sony was misskewing the numbers in terms of the digital, how much it was selling compared to the physical disc. Yeah, cause see, you gotta remember, they want that money, y'all. Sony, they want that money. They're looking at it like, so forth and so on, like we don't have to come out. They looking at it as like they don't have to come out their pockets as much. But it's not. But the thing about it is that what really needs to happen with Sony needs to be checked. because they're out of line. They need to be checked, and it's showing a lack of concern for the gamers, many gamers that still buy physical copies. I mean, I love buying a physical. I'm an old school gamer, like a lot of the digital, a lot of the people that buy the digital, a lot of those are the younger fans. I'm not saying some of the older fans may not do that, but a lot of us older gamers or whatever like that, we love our physical copies. I mean, it's just nothing like going when the new game drop, and you go to the store and you like, okay, the new joint drop, the new this drop, the new that drop, and you go to the store and you purchase the physical copy. It's just nothing like it. It's just nothing like it, and it's got that new case smell to it, and you get it wrapped up in the plastic, and you get the box artwork, and you can unrip it, and you can pop a new game and the new joint in for the year. Yeah, so that's like something right off the back that has to, I felt like this needed to be addressed, and I'm glad and I'm very happy that a lot of gamers is expressing their outrage and it's receiving a lot of backlash. And I think that, us gamers need to keep it up, and people that's doing it need to keep it up. And you have to stand strong on this guy. You got to stand strong on this guy. Like, we can't let them, just have to wait. We spend our hard-earned money on these games. We spend our hard-earned money on these games, and to have the physical copy to be able to actually own the game. You don't have a physical copy, they could do whatever they want. If they want to say we're not gonna allow for y'all to play this game no more, then they can do that. If PSN service shut down for a certain amount, however long they want to shut it down for, or whatever, and say that game is a game that you can only play online, maybe, then you can't play that game. And when that comes to mind, I was thinking of NBA The Run, which is the new game that just dropped that I'm having a lot of fun with. But yeah, which is an online only experience right now, so yeah, it's only a digital release. So that's what I'm saying. We can't allow for this to happen. This is just blasphemy. This is just crazy. There is a lot of gamers that still want physical copies. A lot of gamers still want the physical copies over the digital. I mean, think about for the little kids that do want the physical copy, how you're stealing their joy on, Christmas morning, and they wake up and they get a chance to see the actual physical games, and it's wrapped up in a package, and they can open it and, and take off the plastic, and so forth and so on, and pop the game in, and that they're being robbed of that joy for the little kids that do want the physical copies. So it's just really bad. It's just, I don't agree with it at all. I don't agree with it, not one bit. It's not 1 ounce of agreement in me when it comes to this topic. This is a huge problem, because if they do this and they go through with this, I will not be purchasing PS6. I will not be purchasing a PlayStation 6. That will be out the window. So, and I see a lot of other people, a lot of other comments. I see a lot of other people saying that and so forth and so on. And, and I agree. And I think this is something that we all need to stick together on. And, and just stand strong on this, stand strong on it, and give them that pushback, and let them know that we're not going to accept this. Like, we're not going to accept you guys just coming out, which is a digital release version. Like, nah, like, we can't let that shit slide. We can't let that rock. You know what I mean? So, and that's just the way I feel about that. And I see many others feel the same way. I believe there's a petition that's going around, which I will be signing. But I believe there's a petition that's going around And I think that's a great thing. So I also advocate to many of you, many of the gamers, to go out there and sign a petition and let our voices be heard about this. But yeah, man, it's just not something that I agree with. I just think it's horrible. I don't agree with it. It's just something about being able to look at that video game library and you see all your games there, you see the disc, and you know the disc is inside of there, and and you actually own it. You actually own it. You can play that video game anytime that you want to play it. You know, anytime you want to play it, you want to pop it in and play it, you can play it. And that's like, worth it within itself. You know, but Sony, y'all better cut it out. I'm telling y'all now, y'all better cut it out, because y'all could possibly be in big trouble as a whole. Like, that whole Sony company, could possibly be in trouble as a whole, where you'll have people boycotting y'all, striking y'all for making such a dumb decision. It's like, don't do that, Sony. Continue to give us the physical disc. That's what we want. And the first rule of business, really, to be honest with you, is give the consumers what they want. Give the people what they want. That's basically the first rule of business. Give the people what they want. So, yeah, so as a whole, as a company, y'all could be really seeing some real, even more backlash as time go on. And y'all in trouble. Y'all in trouble. I wouldn't be surprised if Sony see a massive hits in their sales just across the board, even outside of PlayStation systems, because they're making that announcement. And y'all gonna leave a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. So, comment, like, subscribe, and back now. Hopefully I can post a video at least daily or every other day or whatever. Yeah, comment, like, and subscribe, and and I'll catch y'all later. See you when I see you. Peace out.